Ooga, fucking ooga, cunts. This is Cunt Stream Beta. Welcome to it. Today, we've got Robert and Ren, and myself, the Dolphin Radio. I have no idea what we're discussing, but I've been told to do the intro, and this, my friends, is the intro.
Well done. Kind of.
Thank you.
You kind of broke the fourth wall there. It's just some lazy writing, Dolphin. Lazy writing.
Oh,
Well, I did it in like 30 seconds,
what's wrong with lazy writing? We all do that for scripting sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah, but we can't let Dolphin get away with that shit. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's called improv, my friend. Improv.
And we have a couple things we can talk about tonight. We got a couple things. We got a couple topics, things going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some gun control. We've got school shootings, cowardly police, all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah, that's a fun topic. I have a funner topic. It turns out
Okay.
Vanilla Ice is being accused of hiding millions of dollars in his divorce.
Vanilla Ice has money?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
He got into the Bitcoin thing early. It's like, I bought Bitcoins at $1 a coin. Bitches.
Well, to be fair, anyone who bought Bitcoin at $1 a coin and has a whole bunch saved up, they probably are going, "Fuck yeah!" But that's a different story.
I had totally forgotten about this. I had heard about this when I was a kid, and I jammed a little bit of Vanilla Ice. But do you remember what his real name is?
No.
Roy Rogers. No, that's not it.
His first name's Robert, so got to give him props on that one. His name's Robert Van Winkle. What the fuck?
That sounds cooler than Vanilla Ice for a name.
Well, it makes sense. He disappears for 30 years and then pops back up.
It's more hardcore than Vanilla Ice. He should have gone with that as his rapper name. It's more intimidating. And his wife is Laura Van Winkle. And apparently he's got a bunch of, some millions of dollars that he's trying to fucking... But what the fuck? I don't know who the fuck she is. Like, what has she done?
Well, to be fair, he's a one-hit wonder who...
It's like a three-hit wonder.
Three-hit wonder from, like, what, the early 90s, 80s?
Very early 90s.
Yeah, but it seems like
late 80s.
Like he's protected some of his money at least. And
he did do property investment. That does actually help. But hiding money? I could see $1 million maybe, given he does property investments, but not millions.
Man, apparently it's just a couple things that he didn't mention, and now she's like flipping out about it.
Oh, well. That's how divorces go. I don't know if you've ever been through one. I haven't.
Holy crap. He's 50 years old. He looks like he's fucking 35.
Yeah.
He looks young as fuck. Watch, if you want, we can share my screen real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Just commentate as you do.
All right, let's share my screen. We got Vanilla Ice accused of hiding millions into the divorce. That is a picture from 2012. So that's 6 years ago when he was 44.
Wow. That's about 44 right there.
Yeah, that's a good looking 44.
That's a good looking 44, man. My dad didn't look like that when he was 44.
Well, you can tell he takes care of himself.
My dad never looked like that.
He clearly avoided tanning beds.
That, whatever the fuck that little goddamn thing is.
Soul patch.
It's got to go.
But he clearly avoided tanning beds. He clearly knows what lotion is. And from the looks of it, he works out, so he tries to keep himself in shape.
She looks like she's on something.
She's married to Vanilla Ice. Wouldn't you be on something?
Is that a poster of that one Adam Sandler movie with Andy Samberg?
Maybe.
My Boy or something like that. Is he in that movie? I bet he's probably in that movie. He still does. He still pops up every now and then. He was in like The New Guy and shit.
He is kind of a pop culture reference at this point.
Yeah, he's a living meme for sure. Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go has got to be like that. There's got to be memes. There's got to be a ton of Vanilla Ice memes out there.
Yeah, don't mention that song too much. I only saw that Ninja Turtle movies twice, and that song gets stuck in your head like I don't know what.
It was terrible. You know, you go back and watch that movie, and you're like, "Oh my god, this was so great when I was a kid."
There's a couple movies that, if you look back on them, it's like I loved this as a kid. Like that moment for me was I was very young when Space Jams came out, and I was still so young that Bugs Bunny and Looney Tune cartoons are like my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Fuck
and
yeah,
then I looked back at
the shit. Chuck Jones is a fucking master. There's a Chuck Jones museum in Santa Fe. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And so I looked back later on because my kids put on Space Jam on Netflix when it was still on there. And I watched it and I went, how did I think this movie was good when I was a kid? What the fuck?
Space Jam? It's an incredible movie. So I got to say some of Bill Murray's best work. And definitely Michael Jordan's best work. Best acting work.
Better than his career in baseball, I'll give you that.
And better than Shaq.
Oh, God, Shaq. Okay, Shaq was one of those, even as kids, we all looked at and went, no, you can't act. No, you can't.
Oh,
no,
it was so bad.
No.
I mean, you did see Shazam, right?
Yes.
What the like? How did that kid in that movie become a child actor? Who the fuck decided to let him be on screen?
Here's the case for that kid. That kid kept a straight face when Shaquille O'Neal was saying his lines. That took skill. Because there were a number of lines that if I were the child actor, I'd be cringing.
Well, the child actor's a professional. Shaq's a basketball player. So what do you expect?
Exactly. That kid had a little moniker of skill, and had to go against Shaquille O'Neal and go, okay, this is a touching scene. I'm not supposed to cringe. Okay, keep the cringe inside.
I recognize that kid from somewhere else, but I can't think of what else he's been in. But I know I've seen him in other things. And he's just as bad. I'd have to look it up to be sure, but
he can't be any worse than when Tyra Banks did a movie playing the living doll thing.
What movie was that?
It was Disney Channel. I forget the name of it.
Joshua Janice's chat says you forgot Meteor Man. No, we did not forget Meteor Man. We're just not putting that in the same category as Shazam and fucking.
I will never forget Meteor Man.
Meteor Man was fucking awesome. Golden Lords.
Good times. Great old
the Baby Lords. They got those little like 4-year-old kids in the ill fucking suits and the golden hair.
It was Kazam, not Shazam.
No, it was Shazam.
no, she's right. I am Kazam. Yeah.
I am Kazam.
Yeah, no Shazam.
Oh, that's weird.
Shazam is fucking on the tip of my tongue. It's a superhero guy. Captain Marvel or some shit like that. Where he says Shazam to fucking turn. It's the little boy that turns into the fucking superhero. But God, never mind. It's wasted on you.
No. I played it. I played it in the video game. It was cool then.
Yeah, I'm just high, and the name is escaping me right now.
Sure, use your excuses.
Oh, and Blank Man. Yes, Blank Man, of course, should be noted for something. It was noted for fucking. That's one of Damon Wayans' best movies, for sure. Blank Man is great.
So the kid who played the main actor in Kazam did go on to do quite a lot.
A lot of commercials.
No,
a lot of radio.
He was in Crank. He was in Bones for an episode or two. He was in Cutthroat, NCIS Los Angeles, Castle, Sons of Anarchy. Friday Night Lights, Criminal Minds,
What's
Heroes.
What's his name? You got a picture of him? Throw up what he looks like now.
Francis Capra.
The name sounds familiar.
God damn, he got fucking hard. That's the kid from fucking Kazam?
That is the kid who played the main character in Kazam.
Damn, he's got like all fucking... Did he go to prison or what, dude? He's got all kinds of...
Wow. Really?
What? He's got like fucking teardrop tattoos and shit.
Let's see. Oh, no, this kid had a... God damn, this kid had a hard life. He was born in 1983, raised in the Bronx, did films. Apparently his first film was A Bronx Tale. Worked as a child actor, moved to Los Angeles. His father was in jail most of his childhood, and before his eventual shooting, Francis's childhood before his eventual shooting death in 2003. Is this guy still alive? He's still alive, but his dad was like apparently killed, so this kid had a hard life.
Yeah, he looked at like he's turned into somebody I wouldn't fuck with in the alley for sure.
Yeah, makes sense why he was on Sons of Anarchy.
Yep. He's not that bitch little kid no more, is he?
No.
No.
I'm gonna guess in most of the crime dramas he played the bad guy.
Yeah, probably the gang member for sure. He's always a gang member, and like he's in. What are the shows you listed off? Sons of Anarchy, NCIS. He's definitely the fucking gangbanger in fucking every episode, in every show he's on.
Yeah. So yeah, he grew up very differently than we thought.
Yep. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going back a topic and I'm looking up what Vanilla Ice looks like now. He looks like exactly the same as he did when he was like 44. That dude's not fucking aging at all.
Again, he probably knows what lotion is. There's a lot of people who as they get older, they forget that moisture is a good thing for your skin.
Annie is calling out my casual racism. Yeah, it's a lot worse than casual.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So speaking of fucking old age, Kevin Smith had a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
Silent Bob.
100% clogging. 100% clog in his LAD, otherwise known as the Widowmaker.
He's a little heavy set. He needs to take off some of the pounds. Lunchbox needs to lose the weight.
I know. He needs to stop being the fat man in the overcoat.
Yeah.
They should fucking have Jason Mewes get all fat and switch places and have Silent Bob be all skinny.
Maybe. But did you guys see the Chris Pratt thing on Twitter that was connected to this?
Go ahead.
No.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it, Red.
Chris Pratt apparently tweeted that he believes in the power of prayer and was sending prayers and was asking people to pray for Kevin Smith, which led to a Twitter thread of people telling him the doctor saved him, not the spaghetti monster. The doctor saved him. The doctors and nurses. And a whole bunch of people got really pissy that essentially a dude who I'm guessing is Christian prayed for someone else who was in the hospital. So,
imagine if that person had been wearing a headscarf instead of praying for you. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that the same thing probably would happen, but it'd be the other side flipping. I'm betting what's happening with Chris Pratt is a bunch of fucking lefty psychos. New atheists are fucking giving him shit. Because it's not the Christian base that's going to be giving him shit about this.
No, that they're going to be agreeing with him, going, yeah, we'll send prayers and things
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So all I'm saying is if that person who offered prayers was wearing a headscarf, it'd probably be the Christian base talking shit and the lefties fucking defending.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't think the Christians really necessarily hate the Muslims. I think that people hate terrorism and they associate terrorism with Islam
Hmm.
because so much of the terrorism comes from Islamic ideology, and nobody's willing to come out and just say that. I don't think Christians as a particular group are any different than any other group and looking at Islam and saying, hey, you got some fucking problems here. You need to settle this shit.
No, I definitely agree with that. But I'm just talking about the you know, it depends on who does something. Like the internet will always flip out over fucking everything. It just depends on whose side is fucking flipping out at the moment. And I will agree that the leftists flip out over way more trivial shit than this more often at the moment. But
Yeah.
5-8 years ago, it used to be the fucking right. It used to be the right that was fucking that everybody was paying attention to. I'm just saying, it comes and goes. We got fucking big problems, but we can. It's just another thing that people are flipping out about that there's no need to flip out about.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah.
And all I'm saying is there'd be people flipping out either way it would go.
I don't know. I don't think that the right does so much bitching as does they step up a lot and they're like, whoa, hold on. You can't do that. There are rules. And then I think a lot of the left is screaming and yelling that things should be more fair, meaning we should give you more money and shit and free stuff. And, and I mean, I used to be on the left throughout all my 20s. I was about as far left as you could get without being, a freaking commie. But,
Yeah,
but then I had kids and I grew up and I'm starting to realize a lot more as I get older, like, there's the right, which basically looks around and says, okay, liberals are wrong and they're misled and we should be more responsible and take responsibility for ourselves. And then there's the left, which says conservatives are evil and they're full of hate and we need to destroy the system, uproot it, and have a revolution to help all the poor people have money by basically just taking it.
yeah, it's insane.
And it's like,
I'm not
really? I mean,
disagreeing with
like, are
that.
you hearing yourself speak?
No, because they're the same people who write articles saying Karl Marx had a good idea, and it's like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, and
No.
honestly, I can't tell if I think everyone keeps saying we're winning, but I think these people are growing in number two because of the way the country is getting so freaking divided. So they get leftists get pwned at every turn, but they're fucking there at every other turn. There they are again. And
Yeah, well, I mean,
shit's just getting worse right now.
back when you were a leftist, wasn't it
It's
really
getting
all about
crazier
winning
and
the
crazier.
argument?
I'm just wondering what the hump is going to be. Like, what's going to be the breaking point? Is it going to take a fucking I mean, it's probably gonna end up. It's good. It's good. Obviously, it's inevitably going to end up in violence. But the question is, like, how big of a scale before shit starts coming down?
Yeah, well, because it's one of those things that people forget. Listening to the other side doesn't mean you agree with them.
Well,
And
just look at the fucking. I mean, the gun debate right now. I mean, if that could easily lead to civil war. If
All right, hold
shit
on,
gets
hold on. Before we
serious.
get into this, I'd like
All
to
right.
note that there are 38 people watching and only like 9 total likes and dislikes
Oh,
combined.
you lazy
So
bastards.
smash that like button before we get into this and give you the chance to switch your opinion. Anyway, back to the gun debate.
yay, gun debate.
Well, I don't
By the
even
way,
necessarily want to have the gun debate. All I'm saying is that with the extremes that are being pushed right now, it could easily lead to fucking nationwide violence over this issue alone. and and all the other issues are going to spill out over into this one if it ends up being this issue.
Yeah. Well, that's usually the way it goes. It spills over, and then it's no one realizes, hey, talking is good.
Well, the problem with the gun debate, and this is something like lefties never think about logistics and overall impact. And hi, opalescence, I see you in the chat. Anyway, people like lefties never really think about the overall impact of the things that they want. For example, they don't realize that adding gun laws isn't actually going to get anybody charged with these crimes. It's just going to add more charges to a murder rap that are going to be tossed off to the side in order to secure a guilty plea through the prosecution. That's the way this is. And the lefties will argue that they don't like the fact that police, write 500 citations and get you to plead guilty to one if they drop the other 499, but yet they want to make more laws that create this. Okay, never mind. Let's ignore that entirely.
Well, I think they're going about it the whole. They want to. There are a ton of people screaming to take away people's guns right now. Mm-hmm. But I think a more effective solution would be to fucking clean up the bureaucracy with the system we already have, so we can enforce the fucking laws we already have. Because that's a problem. Every time this happens, it's like this person slipped through the cracks. This person slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, there's so many cracks. Well, let's seal up some of the cracks.
Yeah, exactly. Let's fucking seal up what we have going on before we fucking.
Maybe not use 17 agencies to do one job.
Incompetent. So goddamn incompetent that like they just, if we could just get them to be more effective, then it could really help stem the tide. And we don't need to be jumping at fucking goddamn extremes that's going to put the country in civil war, man.
Brother. Because back to the point, like liberals don't understand the logistics of an outright gun ban. You mean you have to go to Texas, door to door, and take their guns? A state who actually had an official flag that had a picture of a cannon with the words "Come and take it." Yeah, like you want to go to this state and take their guns? You are stupid. Go start in San Jacinto. See how you do.
The day they announce it, the day after that, there will be thousands of people in their streets with guns.
Texans won't fight at their own door. They'll fight at their neighbor's door.
As soon as the government announces they're taking guns, then concealed carry is going to be a fucking thing of the past. People will run out on the streets with all their guns and gather up in giant groups, all waving their guns around. Start marching through the streets, and if fucking the police, if the police form a wall to stop them, there's going to be some shit going down.
It's good. Yeah, I don't think the police would. I don't think
it doesn't matter what state they are. There's enough people with guns and enough people that believe in that in this country. It doesn't matter where you go. You could go to California, and it's still going to happen.
Well, to be fair, though, Texas has one itty-bitty advantage to other states. They still have the right to secede.
Yeah, they can secede.
Yeah, they're the only state that has that right.
And Texas would probably hit that button going.
I think there's one other state that can do it, but I don't.
Yeah, Texas would definitely be like, okay, we're out.
Yeah, Texas
we're done.
No guns? Goodbye.
Okay, we're going to now become the second largest economy in this hemisphere. See you later. Oh, and by the way, your oil tariffs just went up, bitches.
You just made us all millionaires again.
Yeah.
Thank
Guess
you.
what? Guess what? All the oil comes from here.
Yeah, they're going, we have all the oil. We're leaving. Bye.
We're going to take our oil and we're going to take our cows and we're going the fuck home. Because, most of the beef in the country comes from Texas, too. Remember that next time you have a hamburger.
And you know what?
There's a reason Texas is such a rich state.
You know what's so fucked up about this is if this becomes the straw that breaks the camel's back, the guns issue, when it starts, it's going to be all the people with guns versus all the people without guns.
Exactly. And they,
It's
like I
like,
said,
no, get rid of your guns. It's like, well, I hope you brought some, motherfucker.
like they don't think about
Uh,
logistics.
yeah.
You anti-gunners want to take away pro-gun people's guns. How are you going to do this? Do you
Without
have
guns.
laser beams?
How are you possibly going to do that without guns?
Do you have sharks with laser beams?
Oh,
Well,
I hope they do. That would be fucking awesome.
they don't think of,
Sharknado.
yeah, Sharknado. Well, they don't think of problems like this. In Chicago, whenever they do gun buybacks and they buy them for stuff, that was usually the time when police would lose the most amount of evidence when it came to gang shootings. Because
Yeah,
if a
because
gun was
gang
found,
members would go and drop off their guns and be like,
yeah,
no questions asked, but you're
no
buying
questions.
back the gun.
You're buying back the guns. You don't need to know that there's 4 bodies you're investigating the death of attached to the one gun that you're about to melt. Bye.
Yeah, I saw that article, destruction of evidence by the state
Yeah.
or something like that. It's amazing.
Oh
They
no,
don't even think about it.
the most heartbreaking thing I ever saw was in I forget what area of Illinois it was. Someone handed in an antique gun, and it was for a gun buyback program, and it was a gun that was over 100 years old, and the cops still destroyed it, and it's like, oh come on, that thing's so old. You could have sold it and made
You
more
could have
money than
gotten
destroying
so
it.
much more. And look, still wouldn't have been fired. I mean, people sell cannons and buy cannons all the time because it's an interesting thing to have in your front yard. You know, nobody really wants to fuck with you, but you're not actually going to shoot it because it would probably blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the shows where they'll restore a cannon and they'll X-ray it to see if it even can be fired because
And
a
it
lot
can't.
of cannon can't be fired because if you try, there's like old, like they've worn over time, so there's cracks. Nobody makes cannon anymore.
Yeah. And yes, Thraxy, there was over 100-year-old gun that was destroyed in a gun buyback program. And I cried when reading the article because I'm like, you have no clue what you destroyed.
Yeah, and besides, look at all the gun buyback idea. Like, if the liberals saying, okay, instead of just confiscating, we'll do a buyback. Yeah, okay, you know, the government tried the same thing in 1933 with gold, and it was something like the amount of gold that was confiscated, and it was confiscated. It wasn't a buyback program. They straight up confiscated it. The amount of gold that was confiscated paled in comparison to the amount that popped up in 1977 when they finally legalized gold ownership in the US again. And it was like, oh, yeah, by the way, all this gold just showed up out of nowhere.
Oh,
Nobody had it like buried in their backyards or anything.
oh no, Grandma totally didn't have gold bars hidden in the bottom of her
Yeah,
trunk in her
people
bedroom.
people totally followed that law, and it didn't even involve something involving self-defense. Like it
No.
was about gold.
Well, again, with Chicago, they have some of the strictest, or used to have some of the strictest rules on gun ownership. And there was still an entire neighborhood, otherwise known as Inglewood, that is filled with illegal guns. Because, as Opal said in chat, criminals totally follow the letter of the law.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, see, the point of the law, and this is what I was getting on earlier. The point of the law is that when somebody commits a murder with a gun they're not supposed to have, you can charge them with the murder and with possession of a gun they're not supposed to have. But they don't, like, once again, they don't think about logistics. When this goes to court, what's going to happen is the prosecutor's going to say, okay, we've got you on 7 different counts. We'll drop the first 6 if you plead guilty to murder.
Mhm.
And then that gun law that you want enforced so bad, boom, it gets tossed away as a plea bargain every fucking time. Because you know what? If you're copping to murder, like if you commit a murder, nobody gives a shit about the gun law you violated. Nobody cares. Are you fucking serious?
Oh no, they don't. They really don't. It's used as a tool to tack on as many charges as it possibly can.
And what's funny is the same liberals arguing for that law will clamor and be like, "Oh, you know, it's not fair that they pulled me over for speeding and charged me with 6 things so that they could get me to plead guilty to speeding." Well, how do you think that fucking works with murder and guns? It's like
And
it's
even
the
there,
same
we don't
exact
need to get that far before we can, like, just a process of the fucking whole gun buying system. You know, enforce that shit.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody, I was hearing somebody, I can't even remember, they were talking about I think it was Six and Hammer talking about a no-fly list, how that's bullshit because people get put on that for no, you know, they haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah,
They're
Ron
on a
Paul
list
was
of
on the no-fly
restrictions.
list.
Yeah, and that
Oh.
it's total bullshit. But if you get somebody that has repeated calls to the police, get charges, you know, create, you know, that they should be on a list where they cannot buy a gun. You know, like how hard is that to implement? You know, a database check that gun owners can check. You know, if you're to see if you're on a risk list to
My
purchase
question,
a gun.
my question is,
And but not it. I mean, like it's hard. It's hard to know where to draw the line because unless you've done something, I believe you should still have the right to own a gun. But I think there are exceptions for maybe like mental instability, something like that. If you've
I don't
been
know. That's in the eye of the beholder.
admitted or something. I'm just saying we could come up with much
Uh,
clearer guidelines that could be.
I'll give you, when you type in your
That's
social
my point.
media, I'm going to become a school shooter. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be sold a
Oh
gun.
yeah, absolutely.
That's like immediate disqualification. I'll give you that one. Okay.
Well, I don't know because I'd say something like that as a joke. I'd
I would
tweet
not.
something. Well, not maybe as a response to somebody, as a, you know, if we're making jokes about shooting shit.
Well, and here's my argument.
I'm just saying it could easily be a joke. It could something like that could so I don't necessarily think that you shouldn't take someone's gonna, you know, if you know you could look into somebody. I think the police could absolutely look into somebody for saying something like that. But for instance, if they look into me and they see that I don't have a fucking criminal record and I don't have fucking, you know, a history of mental illness and, you know, you know, that kind of shit, then there's no reason for them to, you know, then just because of something I said on Twitter.
And
So I
here's
got to
my
disagree with that.
and here's my argument against the, well, if you have a, you know, a database where people can't buy guns, the no-fly list, and this is an article from 2015. This is an article from a couple years ago. There have been cases of toddlers ending up on the no-fly list for terrorism.
Yeah, there's also been mistaken name identities, people with identical names.
Yeah.
Being
Well,
confused on the no-fly list because somebody didn't pay attention.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, this is one case from a while ago, where a 4-year-old was flying with his mother to go visit grandma, and the airline people informed them that the 4-year-old was on the no-fly list. No, like 4 years old. There's been cases
Yeah,
of
that's so fucking retarded.
There's cases of 18-month-olds.
Yeah, but
who
they
were on
strip
that
search.
list.
They strip search 80-year-olds too. You know, in the TSA. So what do you expect?
And that seems to be all I'm saying is that seems to be something the government hasn't tried yet. Is actually cleaning up the bureaucracy around, you know, gun enforcement and, you know, selling
Why
enforcement,
should
and becoming more efficient at it and cleaning up those fucking messes.
Why should they? Like literally, like what is their motivation for cleaning up the bureau? Like other than
I don't know,
Trump putting
maybe
his
the
boot up their
basic
ass.
safety of
Like
the American
literally, what is
people,
the
ideally the basic safety of the American people.
yeah?
I know that.
Ideally, but like
I
look at the way government functions. So look, for example, the EPA fucked up the Colorado River last year, right? You guys
Mhm.
remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the what happened during those hearings right afterwards? What happened? The EPA stepped in and said, "We have too much work and not enough money." So Congress lowered the expectations for the EPA and gave them a bigger budget. That's how government works. There is no incentive to do good. The incentive is to fuck up so you get a bigger budget and less responsibility. That's literally how it works. Look at
Yep.
any
Yep.
department.
I
Look
can't.
at
I'm not
look
gonna
at the
fucking disagree with
DMV.
you.
Look at the
Yeah.
DOT. Look at how they build highways. Well, if they don't, everybody knows if they don't spend their budget this year, they don't get the same budget. But hey, if you fuck up and waste a bunch of money and screw up a whole bunch, then you get to step before Congress and say, we're overworked and underpaid. And guess what happens? You get more money and less work.
That's why I'm mad that like Trey Gowdy's leaving government, because he was on
Yeah.
the House Oversight Committee. Oh, and he was a fucking monster, man.
Yeah, I
He was a
honestly agree with him,
beast.
though. He can do more.
I wish we could get more people like him
He
on.
can do more injustice, and I'm really, really hoping he's waiting around, chomping at the bit when Ruth Bader Ginsburg finally kicks it. Because I want him on the Supreme Court. I think
I'm sad. I mean, it's good that he's in law enforcement and stuff like that, and he's still gonna do work for this country. But I mean, can you imagine just how fucking sick to his stomach he had to have been? Like he seems like. I mean, it could all be an act, but he seems like one of the actual fucking people in government that has integrity. One of the very few.
Yeah, I think it's killing him. I think that's why he's leaving.
Yeah, he did his announcement on TV and said that he would work better, and not all that could be true. How he would rather work in law enforcement and all that.
I forget who it was. Somebody
you read
pushed
between
him.
the lines, and he's just like, because I'm sickened by everybody in fucking government.
No, somebody pushed him. Somebody pushed him a little bit further on that. Like it was like the 4th or 5th time he'd given that interview. And it was to some other news anchor, and she kept pushing, and he was like, look, when I was in Justice, we got things done. We abided by rules, we followed regulations, and we did things by a standard. And in Washington, it's really just all about winning.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, it's just about winning, and I don't know if I can deal with that anymore. So I think they're like basically like, what's that? Her name from Georgia, the Sandra McKinney, the one that kind of she was in there for like two terms, and she went from looking young and vivacious to looking like 50-year-old woman who had just had a hard life. And
because in government you see shit.
Yeah, she went from being a Democrat to being a Republican to being an independent in like 4 years, and just totally fucking lost her mind. I think it ate her alive. But her name is McKinney, Cynthia McKinney. There you go. But yeah, I think the same thing's happening to Trey Gowdy. It's just that he has a little bit more fortitude from seeing so much injustice that he's probably like kind of like this doesn't hit him as hard as somebody like her, because she was young and idealistic when she went in, and she totally naive, had no idea what she was getting into.
Yeah, he just knew how to fucking. He just knew how to dismember people.
Well, yeah, he was a fucking beast. He was a beast, and you know what? But we got Jim Jordan. We got Jim Jordan still,
and Shavitz still.
Shavitz is out.
Is he out? Oh,
he's been out. He was out a while ago. He works for Fox now. Yeah, Jason Chaffetz. He was actually one of the first ones to bounce out of there.
I thought he just wasn't the head of the committee anymore.
No. He bounced out of there in 2018 or 2016 elections. He's been gone since Trump election.
Noted. Fuck, we need more people like them back in there, man. Well, I hope the people who reply. I'm not sure who texts them, but I hope there's still some people on the fucking.
We got Jim Jordan. Start watching Jim Jordan, man. If you love Trey Gowdy, start watching Jim Jordan. That dude is a beast. He is relentless, and he's total independent. Like he doesn't care about your politics. He's just fucking ruthless.
Yeah,
that's how Gowdy was for sure.
Yeah,
he didn't give a fuck about your politics. He just like, if you're lying to me, I will fucking bury you.
Yeah, not only will I bury you, but I'm going to point out how you're lying to me with your own words. He's so fucking brilliant when it came to that. I loved his questioning of Comey. Still gives me shivers when he's like, what would you call, what do you use these things for? To determine intent? It's like, that was just a beautiful moment. Hell yeah. Uncle Trey, this one's for you.
Good old Gowdy.
We'll miss you.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, government's not exactly a place you go if you're idealistic or actually decent.
Yeah, it kills you. It destroys you. You feel
Speaking of which, did you guys hear that Stacey Dash is running for Congress in Cali?
who's
Who?
that?
The black chick from Clueless.
Huh?
Huh?
She's running for Congress in California.
Oh, well, I'm not shocked. I mean, pretty much their whole legislation is going to be actors. By the end of it all, they'll just be writing. They'll show up in their offices like, "Where's my script?" I'm not coming out until I have a good script. We'll have the most dramatic politics in the world.
Yeah,
It'll be
people are
beautiful.
shitting all over her for it. Jesus.
Oh,
And
yeah.
apparently she's running Republican.
Oh,
Wow.
that's different.
That's interesting.
Yep,
But that's probably
running
why they're
for-
shitting on her then. I still think it's silly. I don't think that actors should run for office.
Reagan. Reagan was an actor before he got into politics.
He wasn't a very good actor, though. I mean, like, name one
I've never
movie
seen
that he's
him
memorable for. Exactly. Nobody remembers. Like, I've seen John Wayne movies. I've seen Cary Grant movies. I've seen old actors. None of them became politicians. Yeah, I think the only actor I've seen become a politician is like
Schwarzenegger killed it.
Yeah,
That dude has been on a fucking hot streak for 40 fucking years.
Well, yeah, because even when it's bad, we watch it because it's like it's Schwarzenegger. Come on.
Yeah.
You're making me get a real Bill Burr vibe there.
No, that's exactly where I got it from.
Yeah,
that Bill Burr fucking shit. He's been killing it. He's been killing it.
Clint Eastwood. No, Clint Eastwood's not a real not a politician. He's a political activist, I think. Jesse Ventura
Yelled at a chair.
Didn't Ted Nugent run for something? No, he fucking hates government.
Yeah,
Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent's one of those people who shoot like census takers on his front porch.
No. What he does is they always come in pairs, so he hangs one of them to scare the other one. You know,
right on. Always leave one alive to tell to
to tell the tale.
Story. Yeah.
Well, there's 6 people in that house that make about $35,000 a year each, and they hung my friend. Yeah, Donald Trump is definitely an actor. He was a terrible actor. He was a better businessman.
Yeah,
Like, look at all his acting roles. He's playing Donald Trump. That's not acting.
He doesn't know how to act as anything other than Donald Trump.
Like, even in Home Alone, he played Donald Trump.
Yes.
Like, there's no role that he's not playing Donald Trump because he is Donald Trump.
And I got to tell you, he fucking nailed those parts. I actually believed he was Donald Trump.
Like, he got me. He had me believing.
Performance. So you got to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin does a pretty decent job, but Trump does it better.
Yeah. Oh man. It's like he's playing a parody of himself.
Yeah. In Home Alone, he did the best job in Home Alone, I think. That and The Apprentice.
I'm sorry. Tim Curry is in Home Alone 2, and he takes every fucking movie he's in.
But it's Tim Curry.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Tim Curry in Home Alone 2?
He's the concierge.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You know what? Tim Curry did not take the role in Hunt for Red October, or more people would have watched it.
Who hasn't seen Hunt for
You
Red
didn't
October?
even realize he was in the Hunt for Red October, did you?
I had forgotten he was. He was
the Russian doctor, the only one.
That's right. He is the Russian.
The only officer that didn't know they were defecting. Yeah,
I had forgotten about that.
It's like the only normal role.
So much shit.
He's been in his entire history of movies. It's the only role where he plays a normal human being who's not bizarre in some way or another.
Yeah, he's fucking weird in Congo. He's weird in Clue.
Oh, he's the best in Clue.
He's fairly normal in
Clue is his
Rocky
best
Horror.
movie. Yeah, that's Tim Curry. That's just normal Tim Curry.
That's 2018 normal. It's 2018 normal. It's current year normal. Tim Curry fit right in.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. I don't think people realize how much he's in. He's like John Malkovich. He just pops up everywhere.
Yeah. He should do how old is Rocky Horror Picture Show?
70s or 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I want to say 81.
The next decade milestone. He should do recreate a picture of him in the fucking lingerie, but like now with them all old. And then post that on Twitter. I think fucking people would love that goddamn shit.
And the funny thing is, did any of you see the remake where they actually had a trans woman as in Tim Curry's role? And the only thing going through my head is Tim Curry was more believable in that role than a trans woman.
Yeah, because a good actor is a good actor. A good writer is a good writer. Like, just because you're trans a woman doesn't mean you can act well or write that character well.
My favorite thing Tim Curry ever said is there was a huge convention about Rocky Horror, and a bunch of people showed up as Tim Curry, and as Frankenfurter, and he shows up, and he was like, he was going to give a speech, and he was like, yeah, I was going to give a speech, and then I realized everybody here looks more like me than I do. And it's like my favorite line Tim Curry ever said. Everyone here looks more like me than I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Imagine like Ryan Reynolds going to Comic-Cons now dressed as Deadpool. That poor guy.
No, he probably just dresses up as Green Lantern to try and push the other side of his market value.
Oh, no way, man. He wants that shit to die.
He dresses up. I'm telling you, he dresses up as Green Lantern, and he has one of his buddies dress up as Deadpool and make fun of him in his voice.
He should make a costume that's like the Deadpool costume, and then it's like Deadpool took like tried to put the Green Lantern costume on over his fucking Deadpool outfit. So it's like got sections of Deadpool outfit sticking out all over the place.
And the ring on.
Yeah, and the ring
on.
Have running around with like an oversized lantern, like pretend zapping people and shit. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be kind of meta.
That's got to be the role of a lifetime, by the way. Playing Deadpool.
That is the role he was born to play. He's never done it like. It's perfect for him.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously perfect for him. Good for him.
I think the only alternative, and I'm only doing this because I think that at some point my goal is to give value to everything in the universe, and the only value I could ever see in Dane Cook is he could probably do that too.
Dude, how you don't even give value to yourself, dude? How are you gonna do that? I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, that's a noble goal.
Right.
But it sounds a little virtuous,
naive,
doesn't it? A little naive. Virtuous. So I'm gonna have world peace. That's my goal. World.
Hey, don't that is every beauty queen stock answer.
I'm sorry. Does Auntie like Dane Cook? Well, I guess somebody has to. Otherwise, no one would know his name. Sorry.
He was okay for a while. Like, I will say, scripted, he's pretty good.
I don't know what okay means to you, but
his movies are so bad.
Okay means I don't totally hate him. It doesn't mean I like him.
Fair enough.
But he's not the worst thing in the world.
He's like 3 steps down below it or above it, not quite there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always being buried in sand up to your neck in the tide. That's shittier than Dane Cook.
Yeah. Getting a letter from the IRS is better than Dane Cook's better than getting a letter from the IRS.
Dane Cook's better than Amy Schumer.
Yes, he is.
Oh, you know what? Well, I don't know. That's a
Yes,
really
he
hard
is.
sell for.
He is better. He is objectively better than Amy
I
Schumer.
mean, he is a man,
objectively
so there's
funnier.
that. Sorry, my misogyny was coming out there.
But, I think Charles Manson might be funnier than Amy Schumer. Have you seen
Yeah.
his shit? His stand-up, he's fucking hilarious, man. He uses
No.
props. He pulls out other people's heads and shit. It's impressive.
Yeah. Okay, Dexter. We're gonna have a talk after the show. But until then, let's see
I
if we
don't
can
follow.
get back.
What's the problem? What's the problem? I don't get it.
How do you feel about the children around you, Dexter? Sorry.
They look delicious.
All right, Hannibal. That's enough. It's a terrible thing to do to a great name, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
What?
Hannibal. It's forever associated with cannibalism now.
That makes it more, dude. That makes it badass, because it's not actual cannibalism.
No, not
it's
really.
a badass character in a movie. It's a fictional character.
Yeah, but it's also an historical character. Like, dude, you're talking about somebody that would have been a contemporary of Alexander the Great. You're talking about somebody that's like on par with General Patton. You're talking about a motherfucking military badass, like Admiral Sun Yi. You're talking about
I'm talking about the 95% of the people out there associate the name Hannibal with fucking Hannibal Lecter.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's a damn shame. It's a ruined name. It kind of sucks.
How did that ruin the name?
It did.
It elevated the name. It made that name a badass name. It made it.
If I wanted to name one of my kids Hannibal,
you don't want to fuck with.
If I want to name one of my kids Hannibal and somebody meets him and they're like, "Hey, oh, your name's Hannibal? That's cool." So like Hannibal Lecter, my kid would look at the ground and be like, "No, Hannibal Barca. My dad sucks."
Well, he's asked like Hannibal Lecter. Teach your kid to like stare him right in the eyes, don't blink, and be like, "Yes," just like fucking Hannibal Lecter.
So you have to say hello, Clarice.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Nobody really remembers the A-Team. You're old like me, probably.
I remember the A-Team.
Sorry.
Yeah.
A-Team was badass.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mad Dog was my boy. And then, Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T was badass. And now he's doing
like a prepaid phone company.
Yeah, I'm sure. The last thing I remember seeing him on was the World of Warcraft commercials.
Wow.
He was doing them with Mini-Me and shit like that. You remember those World of Warcraft? They'd have celebrities they'd have a character that was like them. Mini-Me had a little gnome character and shit like that. I don't know. They had all these commercials with celebrities talking about their characters on World of Warcraft. Mr. T was in there.
I didn't see that one.
You could YouTube it. YouTube fucking like Mr. T World of Warcraft commercial after the show.
So Black Panther doing great at the box office, huh?
Meh.
Yeah, I saw it. It was not the best Marvel movie.
I'm gonna have to pirate it later. I mean, go and purchase a ticket and watch it at the movie theater like a good person.
Why the fuck would you bring it up if you haven't watched it?
I don't know.
Dude, if you want to insult a movie,
you're asking for a spoiler. You're asking for a spoiler.
Yeah, no, not really. Not really. I just wanted to kind of like rehash the tragedy that is everybody freaking out about a Marvel movie with a black lead. Like they've never done that before.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't care what your fandom is or what your genre of comic books. To me, Mystery Men will always be the greatest comic book movie ever. Period.
Mystery Men was fucking amazing.
It was the greatest comic book movie ever.
It was really good.
Anyway,
Wish Tim Curry was in it.
what?
Wish Tim Curry was in it.
Yeah, he was. Holy shit! We should call this the Tim Curry stream.
Wait, was he in it? Was he in Mystery? I was saying I wish he was. Was Tim Curry in
it up.
Mystery?
Dude, look it up.
That wouldn't
I
be.
don't know. And now I have to go double check because I'm getting confused with Mondo Burger and all those other great movies from the 90s.
No, he wasn't.
Good Burger. My bad.
Oh, Good Burger was way too long.
There was so
Yeah,
many.
it was
Curry.
so blown out, but it was like that. It was the only movie that hit that mid area between being way blown up and then like falling way short of expectations.
Oh, I love that they had fucking Wes Studi in there as the Sphinx. Wes Studi. I used to work at a bar in Santa Fe that Wes Studi was a regular at, so I used to see him all the time. But if you don't know who he is, he played Magua in The Last of the Mohicans, the fucking Indian dude that like fucking rips dude's heart out of his chest, like shows it to him before he dies, fucking takes a big old bite out of it. He's fucking he's hardcore, and he plays the Sphinx in Mystery Men, like the old superhero. Wes Studi is a badass.
Yeah, he like teaches everyone how to become a team. I think, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like the guru?
Yep. He's in Street Fighter. He plays Sagat in Street Fighter. You remember fucking Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Which one?
My,
the decent movie or the other one?
The Jean-Claude Van Damme movie with fucking Raul Julia.
Okay.
Yeah. He's in a ton of good shit.
Yeah, I still appreciate the Invisible Guy's trick the best. It's like he can be invisible as long as no one is looking.
And he pulls that shit off too.
Yeah, he does. It's like it actually works. It's like, all right, everybody turn away.
That is the one of the best scenes ever where they all turn around and he's like, I did it. Can you see me? Yes, and you're naked. That shit was fucking killer.
Like, how do you know you're invisible? Well, I feel it.
If he looks at himself, he turns visible again. What a fucking dude! Like they're actually assholes for letting him try that, because like he had no way of verifying whether he had that power or not. He could just feel it. What if he was crazy? It's more likely that he was crazy than he could actually turn invisible.
Yeah, and you just got him killed. Like, really?
Exactly. That would totally kill his ass. That's some fucked up shit. That is some irresponsible adulting right there.
Yeah, it was like a motion triggered sentry gun or something like that, gunning everybody down who came in range.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no, if I just go invisible, I can walk past it and turn it off.
No, well, the best part is
you do that.
And spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen fucking Mystery Men, go watch that shit.
Dude, it's in the 90s. If you haven't seen
the fucking main hero is the funniest goddamn shit. They're all just arguing over semantics about how to pull the lever and they just improvise. It's so fucking killer. It's like, just pull the fucking lever, you moron. It's about to die. He's like, hey, that's uncalled for.
What's that guy? What's his name? He's like Mr. Awesome or something.
Greg Kinnear. He's fucking.
No, I mean, like, what's his character name? It's like Mr. Great or Mr. Super or like Mr. Awesome or something. Captain Awesome.
Captain Amazing.
Captain Amazing. And he's covered in like NASCAR style, like go to my Patreon.
Like all the sponsors, Pepsi and fucking Goodyear and Michelin and shit. Oh, so that movie is awesome. It's great.
It's great. It's how superhero Captain Amazing is definitely how superheroes would really behave. Yeah, I want to make some money off of this.
Tell that it's based on my costume.
Yeah.
Right. Put fucking Brazzers on a tramp stamp right above his ass. Sponsored by Pornhub.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, if you weren't alive during the 90s, you suck.
Oh, the '80s movies were even better, man. The '80s
Oh, the
movies were the
Goonies.
creepiest. Well, not just that, just like everything. The never-ending story and the Dark
The
Crystal and
Lost Boys.
all the shit that could like terrify you back in the day that they just could
Yeah,
never
when
put in
they let
kids' movies now.
back when I was a kid, they let 7-year-olds go into the movie and watch Nightmare on Elm Street. It was great.
Yeah, that shit does not
Come out
happen
of
these
there
days.
shaking for like days.
Uh,
Scarred little child.
yeah.
Oh, I remember going to see the South Park movie in the theater.
Oh
That
man,
shit,
yeah,
I
that
was
was.
like fucking 14 or 15, something like that. Oh,
Speaking of
that
South
movie
Park,
was.
you know how rough it was when we first saw South Park. It's like nothing compared to some of the crap on YouTube, right? Or not YouTube, but Hulu and Netflix right now that's coming out. Holy shit! Have you guys seen like Big Mouth or Future Man?
I have not seen Big Mouth. I've heard of it though.
Future Man you've talked about. I've been wanting to see that.
Oh my god, dude!
Big
Future
Mouth I
Man.
haven't seen.
Okay, well, I'll just put it this way: like South Park is
Oh, Big Mouth. No,
Leave It to Beaver.
I heard Big Mouth is just. I heard it's not very good. Fuck.
No, it's really not. It's about as crude as you can possibly get
It
in all
has
reality.
100% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Didn't it have that? Was it the one that people complained about because it had the scene with the boy, like animated, like trying to show a boy masturbating in his friend's room, and it was like people thought the scene was really, really creepy to the
Everything
point.
about the show is creepy.
And it's got
Like
Nick
yeah,
Kroll in it. I got to be honest.
that's
The only thing I've
that's a
liked
pretty
Nick
light
Kroll in
scene.
is The League.
Yeah,
You guys ever see The League?
The
I
lead.
didn't know.
No.
Fantasy football team? You guys should. That show
Uh,
is fucking great. It's on Netflix.
I'll take your word for it. I don't like fantasy football, so I usually stayed
But
away from those shows.
it has very little to actually do with fantasy football. It's just a group of friends is the fantasy football team. So
Okay.
they do talk shit on each other, but it's not like the show's not about sports. It's about like the fucked up situations they get into, and that's how they're friends. Is they're all in a fantasy football league and shit.
Oh, okay. Because that's what was confusing about the promos for the shows. Like they show off like the fantasy football stuff. So I thought sports was actually the main point of the show.
No, sports is not the main point of the show. It's just they'll rip on each other about sports, and they'll say like they'll have situations where they'll do trades or something in the show comedically, but it's not like they're not watching football the whole time, and they're not talking about football the whole time.
Okay.
There's shit going on in their lives, and the football stuff is just it's the side stuff, and I mean, watch an episode or two. You'll find. I guarantee you'll like it.
So is it almost like Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a great show. It's a terrible show, but it's a
Yeah,
great show.
exactly. They all work at a bar, but how often does the bar intrude on what they do? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
there
the
was that
show's
one
not
where they
about them at a
decided
bar.
to start selling alcohol to minors. That was a pretty big bar intruding on their life.
Yeah, and there's an
episode.
episode in the league where they go to the fucking draft. They go to the draft in Las Vegas where they're having the fucking draft.
Oh,
Some
okay,
shit
I
like that.
got you.
So they incorporate the sports into, but the show's not about sports. Just like the Always Sunny isn't about the bar.
Fair enough. I'll give you
It's
that.
about the friends and the situations they get into, and the bar just happens to be a premise in the show that they can bounce shit off of, just
Oh,
like
so
sports
like
is a premise.
Cheers. Like Cheers almost.
Well, no,
Wow. You just basically said it's just like every TV sitcom ever.
Hey,
because Cheers is exclusively pretty much in the bar.
but no, Cheers also had a lot of stuff that their storylines didn't always revolve around the bar. They just happened to be at the bar.
Yeah, but in my opinion, Cheers incorporates that bar. That's like almost the only set in the show. It's not near that bar, sports heavy.
Yeah, I hate to
But
put
just
it this way, but a lot
I,
of Star Trek wasn't about the ship. It was about the adventures they went on in the ship, and you
Fair
just kind of
enough.
made that argument about the bar. Like Cheers is about the adventures they have in a bar, and it's because they're all barflies that the show is funny.
Yeah, Norm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hannah Shrimp makes a good point. And the league sports does become a part of the plot occasionally, but you don't need to understand sports to like it. I hate drinking
Fair.
at bars, but I love It's Always Sunny. They don't make it so you have to know who players are, what fucking who the teams are and shit like that. You don't have to know it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's a comedy show that loosely revolves around sports. It's not a sports show. It's fucking hilarious. It's on Netflix. Check it out. I definitely recommend it. And it's the only thing I mean, the whole premise of that was it's the only thing I've ever seen Nick Kroll in that I've liked. I think he's a fucking douchebag in like everything else I've seen him in.
Yeah.
But I've also been watching. Have you guys seen The Ranch?
No, I haven't seen that either. That's the one with Ashton Kutcher, isn't it?
Ashton Kutcher and Danny Master. Well, after this season, he's not on anymore. But a ton of people the whole cast of that '70s show is on there either as a recurring character or as a cameo.
Yeah,
Like
and
Red is their next door neighbor.
oh my god,
It's their next door neighbor, and Fez is like a farmhand on this other ranch, and Kitty's makes a cameo in it. But I mean, the show is fucking good. First of all, Sam Elliott is fucking amazing.
well, it's Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, and he is so fucking funny in the show. And it's like a sitcom, but people talk like they normally talk. They'll be like, "Fuck you" and "Go fuck yourself," and it's it's a really good show. I fucking like it.
Yeah, I like Sam.
Yeah, if you like Sam Elliott, and I just check out an episode of the show of The Ranch. Give it a shot. Tell me if you like it.
Big Lebowski, best
Big Lebowski,
best
very good.
performance of
Well, I
Sam.
will say Sam Elliott was the best part of the Ghost Rider movie, the first one.
Hell yeah, he was, and the fucking his horse.
The
when he
horse
actually
on
turned-
fire. The horse.
I was
That
like,
was one.
that's
That was one of the few good scenes in that movie.
shit.
It's like the horse on fire and everything's like, oh, that's so cool. No, don't make him go away. Have him stay. We want to see more of that.
Yeah. Anything you guys are watching? You got any other topics at the moment?
No, I'm just pissed off that Vikings is over for the season.
I haven't watched that yet.
Dude, how do you think I feel? I'm still waiting for Game of Thrones, and they pushed it off by a year.
Hey, look, Vikings is Game of Thrones light. So if you haven't gotten,
Oh, I know.
if you haven't gotten your fix in a while, you can always, juice up on the light shit.
Yeah, I will. Last season I watched was season 2 of Vikings, so I don't have a lot.
Weakling, catch up.
Hey, dude, there's so many TV shows.
It's not even. Look, the show isn't even really about Ragnar. It's about his kids.
I know.
You're still in the prequels.
There's so many other shows that I watch it. I watch a couple seasons. The new show starts, and I believe I was gonna get caught up on Vikings. Then the new season of something started, and then I went to go watch that, and then there's all the stuff for Marvel that's on Netflix, and so it's like there's so many stuff and there's so many hours in the day.
Have you guys seen Longmire?
By the way, we were talking about Bill Burr earlier. Have you seen F is for Family?
I don't think I have.
I haven't. Is that a new one that I saw? Sorry.
It's on Netflix, and like if you like Bill Burr's comedy, you'll fall right in line with this. It'll be one of your favorite shows.
Right? It was just released a little bit ago, wasn't it?
Oh no, it's been out for a while now, about 4 or 5 months at least.
Oh, then I've seen it. Unless
I think it's coming up on second season.
Oh, it's a show?
Yeah, it's a TV
I'll have
show.
to check that out. I was gonna say if it's a stand up on Netflix, I've seen all this stand up.
No. This is like he's doing a cartoon show now with Netflix. He got a contract.
Have you guys heard about the fucking show Jean-Claude Van Damme is doing? He's been doing for a while.
Something about like This Is Me, I Used to Be Famous.
Yeah, it's like that. So the show is about Jean-Claude Van Damme. He plays himself in the show, and the premise is that he's really like a CIA secret agent that became a famous, like while he was Jean-Claude Van Damme, the movie star, he was like an undercover agent for the CIA. And the mom, Claire Huxtable, the mom from the Cosby Show, is like his handler. She's like his publicist slash handler. So like when he goes into like she'll be talking about his next appointment or something, and then they go into CIA mode, and she gets all serious and starts going over like his next mission and shit. Oh, it's so fucking killer. It's all like undercover, and he spent his whole movie career as a CIA spy.
Oh, that sounds
So
cool.
yeah, he just like makes fun of him. It's a total parody of his career, and he's such a fucking like he's a damn good sport for doing this show. It's fucking hilarious. Have you guys seen Longmire?
Longmire, yes, I've seen.
Okay, you know the daughter?
Yeah.
Her house is my sister's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they filmed that. They filmed that in Santa Fe, and
Cool.
so you see it. She opens the door like in the first like 5 minutes of episode 2, and when it shows inside of her house, it's all my sister's furniture, all her fucking pictures and shit on the wall. They didn't like change a damn thing.
So
But
you're
they've been paying her for
I
years
know
to
that
fucking come there.
house.
Yeah, it was the weirdest fucking thing. I'm like, I like when I'm done with smoking weed, I put my pipe on that fucking ledge right there. It's like,
At least you didn't leave it there. It's like,
well,
I left it there, damn it.
there is one episode where some stranger is sneaking into her house through the back door, and so they don't show you who it is. They just show you kind of a first person camera view of somebody going through the house, coming in through the back door, and it passes right by her fridge through the kitchen. And my sister has a whiteboard on there, and you can read it says "fuck off, Laura." Somebody had written, one of her friends had written "fuck off, Laura" on the whiteboard, and they didn't edit it out. It was in the show. It was funny.
And I'm sure that friend laughed their ass off when they saw the episode. Like,
Yeah.
I made it on TV.
Yeah. AW is asking me, speaking of deep cover shit, what do you think of Burn Notice? I have seen every episode, many of them twice. Fucking thought Burn Notice was awesome. I love the episode with that dude from next Friday or the Friday after next, the little Chico dude, Aztec Warrior. He's in this one episode, and he's the leader of this gang, and they have to like intimidate him. So they have the main character go up in this fucking ill black suit with a red tie and start talking like like a businessman, like what I say goes, or else this shit's gonna happen. He raises his hand up, snaps his fingers, and like the garage this gang is protecting, like the doors fall off, like they already had it, like these people got in and rigged the doors to blow while it's being guarded and shit like that. So he's just showing off how they can get anywhere they want to get to. Like he plays it off badass. There's a lot of shit in that show that's fucking sick. There's actually some dangerous shit they tell you about there too. How like people will buy reinforced doors and thinking that'll protect them, but they won't think about how the drywall right next to the door is usually just like drywall, and you can kick through it or shoot through it. I'm like, God damn, if you wanted to put that to use, that could really fuck up somebody's day.
That it could. And apparently A&W thinks this sounds like awkward wedding reception chat right now.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions in the chat?
Yeah.
Anything interesting we can talk about?
Ask, am I the only person in here without a wrench? Very possibly.
Maybe.
And
well, there's 31 people in here.
I don't know why we're letting your kind in here anyway.
Yeah, get the fuck out, man. What the hell?
Annie's saying I'm gay. Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it. Love you too. My brother's asking if I've told my mom and dad that I'm gay yet. No, I have not. I am waiting till I have AIDS.
What's the hardest part about being gay?
I don't know.
telling your parents that you're also an inline skater.
Oh, that's rough, man.
That's really rough. Yeah. See, that joke used to go in reverse, but that was called homophobic.
And he's asking why I'm gay. Frogs. It's frog's fault.
Yeah, yeah. He ate the frogs that were in the water.
I'm a victim of the frogs.
With the frogs
He
got
was
you?
trying to make a
The
point to
frogs,
AW about eating frogs, and
Yeah,
things got
yeah.
out of hand.
It's the frogs plus all the dick that I take. It's like, it's like 50-50.
Yeah, about half and half. Little column A, little column B.
But
Oh.
here's something from 4 hours ago to talk about. A man was shot while Facebook's live streaming.
That sounds fun. Was he swatted?
No, it was a 54-year-old man who was shot by a 65-year-old, or the suspect, 65 years old, and he was complaining about a family member stealing one of his 3 cell phones.
Ah.
And he was apparently live streaming and then shot.
Yeah, yeah.
That can't be the first time it's happened.
No, I'm sure it happens in the nursing home all the time. They stick the Korean guy next to the American guy. What do you expect's going to happen? I remember you, you son of a bitch. Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Okay. We had a request to get Mark in here, but Mark's not feeling too hot. His voice sounds like shit.
Well, I mean,
Mark,
we are rounding up on 12:30. How do you guys feel about calling it? Or do we have somebody in the chat there that wants to give us some really awesome badassery to talk about?
Yeah, if somebody has a topic they want to just let us know. We'll throw you a link. Otherwise, we may wrap it up here in a few minutes.
Yeah, it just seems there hasn't been much in the news short of, like, yes, the shooting. But other than that, it's like, this seems to be kind of a dead week for news.
Well, I don't know. You get the same old shit that's been going on all year long.
I know. It's
like, did
we've
Russia
had the
collude and all that shit? But yeah.
Why are you always wrong, Dolphin?
Why is Dolphin always wrong? What have I ever been wrong about? I have never been wrong. I'm always right. Always. Like for instance, when I said invest in railroads because they're going to be the next big thing, has anybody lost money yet? That's right, because nobody invested. You guys are smart.
So Mark is asking to talk about the Penny Red shit, and what he's talking about is her newest article that she put out, and it's fucking disgusting. Would you guys like to check it out real quick before we wrap up?
Let's do that. Let's have some fun.
All right, let me make sure. Okay, let's. I'm gonna share my screen.
All right, so we get a $5 super chat from Mr. LM002. Dolphin Radio, talk about mead until the stream ends. Well, gentlemen, mead is an amazing substance, nectar of the gods, they call it, and that's all I got.
All right. So what is she writing about?
Okay, I'll just skim through it until we get to the really horrible bits.
Ooh, is there word salad? Like, was it yoga industrial complex stuff in
there? No, not quite. It's just straight. It's just straight man hatred. Just straight like fucking disgusting.
Oh.
So she starts off by saying, "My heart goes out to men right now."
Bullshit.
She's talking about all the men that she talks to who are depressed, who want to kill themselves, who have been falsely accused of sexual assault and rape, or maybe not even falsely, but men for whom the fast-changing code of sexual and romantic conduct is not the most immediate problem. Theirs is that they have been called out, condemned, and are wondering what the next months of their and years of their lives are going to look like. In their bitterness, I can hear a backlash coming down the tracks. So she is talking about men accused of sexual assault and rape, and who are angry and afraid and have no idea what to do now.
Mhm.
And this isn't necessarily men who have sexually assaulted and raped anyone. And if
Okay.
you are being falsely accused of this, of course you're going to be angry and afraid and have no idea what to do.
Now, I'm just gonna jump in and stop me if there's a spoiler alert coming out here, but I'm gonna guess that this is all preemptive to some vindictive backstabbing bullshit at the end.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, yeah. And she goes on to say
Yeah,
that
I'm
she
getting
is,
I'm getting the vibe here. It's like, oh, sorry, not sorry kind of attitude coming out right now. It's like I feel my heart goes out to you.
No, she has
but
to
she
say.
lays, she has to, she sets the mood though. She has to lay it on extra thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've held the hands of living men as they cried about how their lives are now over. I've listened to men tell me repeatedly how they have felt suicidal. I listened to them discuss methods of killing themselves. I have stayed up late to check that friends were still alive, and I'd do it again. And I'm not the only one, far from it. Yes, there are lots of men who are fucking going through all
Yeah.
kinds of shit right now. Let's speed through this a little bit faster.
I'm not
here.
sure she held the hands of any that you wouldn't refer to as a beta male, and I'm sure that crying was probably pretty common for them. But go on.
Here's where it starts to get a little fucked up. She's saying, everywhere I look, the work of helping heal the trauma of transition to a better and less brutal way of living and loving is being done by women, which, yes, most of the hospice, most of the care and shit are women, but women get like almost 100% of the funding.
Yeah.
It's being done by women for women, not for, none of it's being done for men.
And they bitch when things are being done for men.
In fact, all I hear is endless accusations that we are being mean girls and going too far, that if we're not careful, we'll push men over the edge. They'll lash out, they'll break down. Modern masculinity is apparently too fragile for this. I have no idea why more men aren't offended by the assumption that they are too weak to cope with change, but I'm offended on their behalf. Don't mention it. It's my job.
Well,
Nobody.
thank you for speaking for people that that you think need you to speak for them, Laurie.
Captain Virtue Signal.
Have you heard?
Look how
Have
good I
you?
am.
I mean, it's a straw man too. She's talking about men who are depressed and want to kill themselves, not who are too weak to cope with change. And if she's assuming that men get suicidal because they're too weak to cope with change, can you see how disparaging she is looking at men? Like,
Well, yeah. Well, here's the other problem with this. It's not that those men are having issues with change. Think of a guy gets accused of sexual assault. It's front page news. 3 weeks later, it gets found out that the chick lied about it, and he wasn't even in the same state. And it's the cop saying, "We're sorry, she lied," is on page 7, and no one pays attention. So for the rest of that guy's life, when anyone Googles his name, rapist is the first thing that pops up.
And
it's not that they're afraid of change, it's that their lives are pretty much over.
Yeah, it's just anybody looks them up and they are painted as one of the worst people in fucking society. That's what Lori, I don't understand where she gets rape culture. Like, rapists are so fucking vilified in our society. They're the lowest of the low. They often get killed in jail because even prisoners, they're on the lowest on the totem pole in fucking prison.
Technically, pedophiles are below rapists.
Pedophiles are below rapists. It's society.
It's just a different form of rapist. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but they're the kind of rapists that even other rapists look at and go, "Dude, at least we waited till they were grown.
That's
You
fucked
did
up.
what to a kid?"
So here's where it really starts getting. Let me continue. Even though the issue on the table is the awful things that women and girls have had to put up with for unspoken generations, we still somehow seem to be more worried about men. That
So in other words,
right
that's
there
it.
is such.
It says the whole world revolves around us, but yet we somehow still find a way to think about men.
Yes,
That's
because
literally what she said. The whole
while
world revolves
awful
around us.
things have been happening to women and girls throughout history, men have just had it fucking peachy keen, haven't they? We've just
And
been
by the way,
sitting by the fire, putting our feet up, you know.
yeah, who the fuck are you to say that the issue on the table is the awful things that women and girls have had to put up with for unspoken generation? That's
I
not
know
the issue on the table.
especially when she begins the topic of her article as men's.
This is all
emotional
about men.
about
It's all
men.
about men because you're trying to
She-
fucking lie so you can get some people to listen to you.
Dolphin, these are the same people that will take statistics on child abuse and twist it to say that girls get more child abuse than boys. They even try discounting any male children. If you're male in general, they would discount anything.
Oh
you
yeah,
go
I
through.
know. I know until you point out the fact that 75% of all child abuse is affected by the mother.
Yeah.
And that when it comes to abuse and violence in the home, men and women are equal, but women are more likely to use a weapon.
Women are also more likely to do a form of child abuse that sticks with you way longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mental and emotional abuse, which
Yeah.
fucks you up beyond belief, but never leaves visible scars.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
listen.
and
to this lack of
it doesn't stop when
sorry.
you become an
Go ahead.
adult either.
Oh
But
no.
anyway.
No, it doesn't. Listen to this lack of empathy here. Women know how to suffer, apparently, and men do not. So we should carry on being punished for the crimes others have committed against us.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there. Stop there.
All right.
So, over 5,000 years of recorded human history, men have, en masse, thrown their lives away in wars to protect women and property.
Mhm.
Men have thrown away, and let's just go with today's standard. No, let's not even go back to medieval, serfdom type standards. Let's just say today's standards, men throw away 40 hours of their life on a weekly basis so that somebody else can spend their life happy.
Yeah.
And they do this without argument because it is their responsibility whether or not they chose it. And of course, women suffer. And by the way, if you're a woman wondering why I always criticize women for going into the workplace, it's because of that. It's not a fucking reward. It's not empowering. It's 40 fucking hours of your life every week to some company that really doesn't care about you.
Yeah, and all it's done is create a society where now you pretty much have to have both couples working to sustain a household.
Well,
Yeah.
not always.
Not always, but
Not always, but a good
lower
majority of
middle
time.
class and below, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
called-
Which is a lot of fucking people out there.
It's called working poor for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, even back in the 50s, the working poor actually had money because of the fact that the labor pool was half as big as it is now.
Mhm.
Because women weren't in the workforce, because they had everything given to them by their husbands or fathers. And so there was no need to go into the
Well,
workforce.
technically they were part of the workforce, but that was more like the secretary jobs or
Yeah.
like
See,
maybe
and like I'd be
seamstress
totally
or
down. I was totally down with equal pay for them. And if they want to go into the workforce, I just think it was really stupid for them to actually go into the workforce
Yeah.
because when they did that, they kind of screwed up labor value
what
and
you're
they
talking
kind
about.
of doomed themselves.
They kind of went into the workforce when it came to labor. Women still back then, waitress, school teacher,
Yeah, no real labor.
a number of customer service jobs were women, but it wasn't common for women to be working in like factories. And that when that shift happened, that's when the workforce issues came in.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna continue so we can finish this up. We can get it all these topics as I go on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
go for it.
In almost every conversation I have had about this issue with people of every gender, the topic has tilted slowly back towards how we're going to help men, as opposed to how we might make all our communities kinder and better and less fucked up. I'm sorry, I thought helping men might, be a step toward making all
Making our communities kinder.
better,
After
and
all,
less fucked up. That might be
you
an
blame men
integral
for all.
step toward making our communities kinder, better, and
If
less
you're
fucked
gonna
up.
blame men for being the reason that our kind of communities aren't kinder or better or more
Yes, then it
and are
makes
more fucked up,
sense that
then it
men
makes
would
sense
be the ones
to
who need
help men. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like your arguments don't coincide with each other, sweetie.
She's just
Either men
completely
are
upside
all
down
the
on everything.
problem and need all the help, or they are not all of the problem and don't need all the help. Which one? Which one? Pick. Because they're mutually exclusive, you fucking moron.
She's so fucking good. ass backwards on this. The problem is that men's pain is still so visceral, so dominating, and women's pain is so easy to dismiss. In what fucking universe?
A woman will not allow you to dismiss her pain. She will keep nagging until you acknowledge it.
Well, not
Period.
even on an individual level, on a societal level. Like if something happens to a woman,
Yeah, just go look at that
it,
video. That guy and his girlfriend, and like the
sentencing
girl's hitting the
guys.
guy.
Yeah, well, that can be staged, but I've seen that shit. Like not like that video. I don't know if that one particular one is staged, but I know the one you're talking about. But I've seen fucking girlfriends beating the shit out of their fucking boyfriends.
And everybody just
Happened
laughs.
happened to my fucking roommates. I came home and me and my brother saw our roommate's girlfriend. She had ripped the fucking bedroom door off the hinges and had broken in half, and she had taken a chunk of that and was smacking it into him like a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah,
And
it's
he
like Bill
was
Burr
getting
says,
he
nobody's
was
allowed to
getting
hit him.
cut
So
up
they don't know
all
where
on
that
his
line
mind,
is.
and he was standing there fucking taking it, hands clenched like a motherfucker. But
Yeah,
he
well,
did not touch her, and she was swinging at him like
to be fair, for most men, that
I've
is
seen
the
some fucked up
easiest
shit.
way. That is the easiest way to avoid getting arrested. If the woman is beating you and you don't lay a hand on her, so she's impeccable, no scratches, and you're the one bloodied and broken,
She's going to jail.
then she's going to jail. But if she has so much as one scratch on her and
You're
you're
going to
bloody and
jail,
broken,
and she's going to the hospital.
she's going to the
She
hospital.
did not go. The cops did show up. He went to jail because he had a warrant, but he did not have any.
Domestic violence brought against him.
Yeah, and they did not arrest her. And she had run out into the street, and like there was broken glass all over. She had run out in the kitchen. She had cut up the fuck out of her feet. Uh, and she was
No
screaming that he
responsibility.
had beat the fuck out of her, but she didn't have a fucking mark on her except for her feet, where she had cut up from running. And he had all he had was defensive wounds on his palms and on his sides and shit.
Anyway, please do go on.
Men's panic about being accused of violence has overwhelmed women's actual experiences of violence in the public imagination. Well, I wonder fucking why.
When a man can get stabbed by a woman and the cops are asking the woman first, are you okay? Did he hurt you? And that's a society we live in.
How about when every major rape case that gets reported in the media a month later turns out to be fake? All the big ones, the mattress
Scoop
girl, the fucking
lacrosse.
the Rolling Stone girl. Uh, when you put that into the public perception that all these horrible things are happening, and then oops, they're all lying about it. I mean, you can only cry wolf so many fucking times.
Yeah. And don't sit there and try to tell me that there's toxic masculinity, but there's no toxic femininity. Women they have such a higher capacity for vindictiveness and a long memory than men do. Men will let shit go after a very short period of time. Because not because they want to, but because they forget about it. They're too fucking busy to hold a grudge.
Think of
Uh,
married couples.
yeah.
Married women can pull insults about things that happened years
I will
ago
get
and throw it
called
in
on
your
shit that I
face.
did when I was dating my wife, when she's mad at me, when we were dating. We've got kids together. Like they're all grown up. Like she will pull that shit on. Like women do not forget. They do not let shit go. And
Nope.
they are vindictive. And they like a woman will go out of her way. She'll pull a whole new life for years just to get revenge for something.
Again,
It's
women play
sick.
fucking head games. We're good at it.
Yeah.
Women
And
can.
men aren't good enough to pull that to combat it. We don't know how to combat it. Like we deal with shit like men deal with each other by knocking the shit out of each other when you cross our line. Once you cross that line, you get popped in the face. That's it. You learn. You don't do that again.
Well, and Dolphin, think of this. Women could, theoretically, in a relationship, a woman could, and this is theoretical. I watched way too much Investigation Discovery. A woman could stab a guy, play mind games with him, and get him to apologize to her for the stabbing.
Yeah.
Women have that power.
Okay, so I want to hit this next sentence because I have something to say about it. It is not anti-feminist to talk about men's emotions as if they matter. What is anti-feminist is the demand that men's feelings come first, to insist that men's experiences are taken more seriously, to threaten women into placing men's comfort ahead of their own safety.
No.
Nobody, first of all, nobody's demanding that men's feeling comes first. All they are demanding is that women's feelings do not come first. It's like
Look,
they're just
it's
saying, look,
no,
your feeling.
Robert said, I know what you're trying to get at. It's not that men are worried about their feelings coming first. We're worried about our feelings coming up. That's it. We just want them to be acknowledged, period, at all.
It's not just that, but it's like say we're talking about the context of being accused of sexual assault, what men want is for women's feelings not to be taken as gospel, because that is what is ruining their, just because of just an accusation, it'll ruin your life.
We want to get rid of the Duluth model. That's basically the bottom line.
So we're not demanding that our feelings come first. We're demanding that women's feelings don't come first in that situation. That the evidence fucking decides that shit. And if the man did something terrible, then fucking throw away the key. But with all the shit, I can't help but be skeptical every time I hear a new public rape case.
Anyway, go on with the article.
Go on.
It's not wrong to help men heal their hurts and grow and move on, but that healing and growth must not be prioritized over the safety and growth of a complete community. If the individuals in a community are healthy and growing strong, then the community is. God, look at see how she takes the individual out of it, and the community is more important than the individual. It's just total fucking
Communism.
Total communism, absolutely. I do think what about the men's is a politically relevant question in this case, because ultimately this is a protracted social negotiation, one in which men have always had more power.
Repeat.
Men have not always had more power in the social negotiation.
Women have been put on a pedestal and protected. There is a case on a show called Wives with Knives, where a guy was stabbed because he opened a Christmas present before Christmas. He didn't beat the woman. He opened a Christmas present and wore a sweater that she got him before Christmas.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
When she was arrested, initially, the cops asked her, "Are you okay?"
Okay, I'm not.
Him.
We're definitely not going through this whole article. There's another. Like we've barely scratched the fucking surface of it. I've read the whole thing, but look, she just goes on and on and on.
And Brockus, don't bring me into your thing.
It's basically all a bunch of men should be allowed to cry unless they start crying, and then they need to shut up because they're taking away from women.
Okay, so I think we'll finish up by just going over the highlighted italic sections here. Does that sound good to you guys? Instead of going through the whole article, just these highlights here.
Let's cherry pick her.
Yeah. Well, these are the highlights that she picked for her, that they picked for her article. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm not just picking out random shit. These are what they chose to
I'll do this
emphasize.
in my best reading voice. I'll cover this one,
All right.
And you take the next one. The real risk here is that we will let our every human compassion for men in pain be exploited to undermine a movement for sexual justice and liberation for everyone.
God, fucking hello, feminism.
All right.
I'm sorry, did she not
everyone
see the fucking projection there?
Yeah. And on a side note, we have a super chat from Mr. LM002. At Dolphin, considering that shit you guys were talking about, does it make sense to you why some men are avoiding women altogether and going MGTOW?
No. MGTOW, I don't think that they're a bad group. I think that they're a natural reaction to feminists gone mad. I think a lot of them have mother issues, but I think the general group is mostly just men who have been screwed over by one too many women. And it's their natural reaction. It's the natural reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say that, like, feminists said, well, we can have it all and we don't need no man. So MGTOWs are basically saying, okay, fine. We don't need no woman. Peace. I'm going to take my money and my shit and I'm going to go over here.
We're gonna chill out and wait for the sex robots.
Yeah, like you said you don't need no man, and I said okay, fine, I'm gonna leave, and now you're fucking pissed. What the hell is that? Why I don't understand why feminists get upset with MGTOWs. It baffles me. Like I totally agree that yeah, a
There are
lot of them
some
do have
MGTOWs.
mama issues, but
Yeah, there's some MGTOW like fucking angry MGTOW. It says some fucked up shit. I can understand why people are mad at him.
yeah, I get that, but like for the most part, like you said, you don't need no man, and they said okay, and now you're pissed.
All right, here we go.
Don't get it.
You want to talk about men and their emotions? So do I, and I hope you're up for it.
I don't
You
want to talk
smug
with anything
cunt.
about it. Like, I honestly would not want to talk about the color of the sky with you because we're not going to agree.
Yeah, Ren, you want this one?
Sure. So no, I don't hate men. I hate how brittle and fragile modern masculinity is. How it reacts to any perceived threat by lashing out and shutting down.
That's
Sounds
not
like you hate men.
masculinity. That's not. Hold on. You have to understand. Like, I get it. A lot of these feminists are surrounded by male feminists. You guys understand that, right? So,
Yeah.
like, their exposure to men is male feminists.
Yeah, if the people you're hanging around, and you know Lori Penny is hanging around with male
Yeah.
feminists.
Like, she's not going to hang around with
Maybe
anybody
that's
with
where
any
you're getting
assertiveness.
your idea of brittle and fragile masculinity is from the brittle and fragile fucking douchebags you're hanging out with.
Yeah, I'm sure that your daddy smacked you around a little bit too much and that probably pissed you off, but you need to be around a man that's assertive without hitting you and maybe find your place in the world.
All right, Dolphin, this is you.
We are now going through another sort of great, oh man, it disappeared.
We are now
Hey,
going
man.
through another sort of great stink.
Great
We
stink.
need to work out
And
new ways to deal with our shit. Well,
That
fuck,
sounds
that's
like
just
you
an
need.
empty
That sounds.
platitude.
wait,
That sounds like
when
you
was
need
the
to
first
see
great
a-
stink?
I don't know. But
Because
why does
like
it sound like they need to go see a doctor about a laxative or something?
no, like the Great Stink to me is a historical event where the London sewers backed up and it stunk like shit throughout the
Well,
entire city of London.
what I'd like to point out is she, just like all these other leftists with no plan, say, and we need to work out new ways to deal with our shit without giving any fucking ideas, any fucking ideas other
Like,
than men
look,
are too fragile.
I don't know how to do this, but we need to do it, and it needs to include these things that I really want. Suck it up and let go. Let go of your resentment at women's lack of patience. Take over. I lost it.
Let go of your wounded pride. Let go of your useless shame, and let go of the idea of being a quote unquote good guy.
There. I told you she's surrounded by male feminists.
Yeah,
Told you.
fuck yeah.
Fucking told you. Every goddamn one of them. I'm a good guy. I bet you are.
Hang around some
Bet you're
assholes.
waiting
once
for
in a
that
while,
drunken
boy.
moment, aren't you?
Be a
Good guy.
jackass.
And that's gonna do it for the highlights.
Fucking
Yeah.
called it. Yeah,
Look,
how's that, John Doe, for always being wrong, huh? Sorry. I had to.
Yeah, that's yeah. She's fucking God. Did you see how long that article was?
Yeah.
It's like
Word
that was.
salad.
It's like 15 pages.
Yeah, and like
Word
90% of
salad.
it. Yeah, I'm on Ren's page here. Like 90%
Mark's telling me
of
to
it.
read the last paragraph. Mark's telling me to read the last paragraph here to wrap it up, and then we'll finish up the show. Does that
Yeah.
sound okay?
Sounds
All
good.
right. Last paragraph here. We won't get to that world by continuing to infantilize men, nor by clinging to the curiously sexist belief that they are too fragile to cope with the consequences of their actions. That sort of belief might be nice, but ultimately it is not kind. It is not a kindness to have low expectations of men, to always be doing the emotional work for them. It is not a kindness to give in to the threat, so common in abusive relationships, that if we don't do what they want, they will do violence to themselves or to us or both. For
All
a long
right.
time, I thought that we're almost done. For a long time, I thought
Please.
that I was being loving to men by expecting less of them. I thought wrong. I was not being loving. I was not being kind. I was only being nice, and nice is not enough. Go fuck yourself.
Hold on. Let me see that. Give me a link to that. Give me in the side chat real quick.
Seriously?
Yeah,
What? Is
seriously.
she only dating abusive assholes?
Because she's
Two,
a feminist.
I would love I would love to try this experiment. Tell a guy no on something and watch how he goes from like, oh, really? Oh, okay, whatever. Tell a feminist no and see what happens. Men are the fragile ones?
Yeah, I think it's fairly ridiculous.
Men are the fragile
Men are the
ones?
ones who get all the attention in society. Nobody gives a fuck if men are suffering.
That's why women have been
Nobody
on a
gives a
pedestal for hundreds of years and been treated like they're precious gifts and not expected to do much because you can't expect that of a woman.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's about our show for tonight.
All right, hold on. Before
Okay.
we go, I would like to give my own editorial conclusion response to her here real quick because it's so beautiful that I can't not do this. So here we go. My response to Lori Penny. We won't get to that world by continuing to infantilize women, nor by clinging to the curiously sexist belief that they are too fragile to cope with the consequences of their actions. That sort of belief might be nice, but ultimately it is not kind. It is not a kindness to have low expectations of women, to always be doing to always be doing the physical work for them. It's not a kindness to give in to the threat so common in abusive relationships that if we don't do what they want, they'll bitch incessantly until we do or make us crazy. For a long time, I thought I was being loving to women by expecting less of them. I thought wrong. I was not being loving. I was not being kind. I was only being nice, and nice is not enough. Love you, Lori.
That sounds more truthful, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more honest.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's honestly, like, as you were reading it, I'm like, she's literally projecting.
Yeah, the projection is just fucking like being shoved down your throat. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty. Is that going to be it for the show, guys?
Yeah, that think that we're right at the usual time we end. So we've done our full time and full discussion.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
like a scrotum. There it is in a nutshell.
I like that. All right.
Yeah, I ripped it off from the Bloodhound Gang. It's not mine.
Oh yeah, that is Bloodhound Gang.
Like a scrotum. Here it is in a nutshell.
All right. We are Cunt Stream Beta. I am Robert. We've been joined tonight by all of our wonderful co-hosts, Reading Ren and Dolphin Radio. We hope everybody has an excellent night, and we'll see if Schmeckle is on point and ready to end the stream. You guys have a good night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
night, guys.
You think he's on point?
Oh God, no.
Schmeckle?
No, he's out cold.
Are you gonna leave us here?
We should all leave the stream and let him just keep streaming by himself silently.
Yes, guys, please comment and mock and harass the living shit out of him.
Or we just sit here and talk shit about him till he eventually comes to. And hey, Zeal.
That's some good stuff. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for us.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bail out. I'll see you guys later. Have a
I
good
hope
night.
everybody has a good time. Let us know how long fucking Schmeckle keeps the stream live for. That'd be interesting.
Please do. I want to see.
Hey, how about we just? I might just post this stream chat to fucking Twitter at this point. See who.
Yeah.
And let's just. I'm leaving, but we'll see who pops in. Just see.
See how many people can sit here and yell out Schmeckle.
Let's burn this motherfucker to the ground.
Schmeckle, you need to wake up.
All right. You guys have an excellent evening.
Later.
All right. Peace.
Schmeckle, we did. I'm the last one left. They left.